Welcome back, all my beautiful patriots and nationalists of Ireland and abroad. Today we have a video titled, Should we be visiting the White House this St. Patrick's Day? Now this one's going to get pretty crazy. It's on News Talk, of course. We have, Richard Boy Barrett, I believe, is on the show, who is on People Before Profit, of course, who is a far left socialist kind of guy. We have Colin Burke, who's from Fine Gael, and we have the propaganda specialist himself, Pat Kenny. Oh, this one's going to be good, guys. Now, it was just announced today that I think they're going to be sending like 20 leaders or 40 leaders or something over to the US for Paddy's Day to talk with Trump and the lads, Elon Musk and stuff. And I think it's in bad taste. Yeah, I think Trump should refuse them completely because, Simon Harris called him a gowl. And for all those Americans watching that don't know what a gowl is, it's two things, okay? It's basically calling another man an idiot, okay? It's just a word for an idiot, but it's also used for female genitalia, let's just say, guys. All right? Basically, that's what it's used in a reference to. So he's calling him basically a pussy as well. Not a very nice thing, guys, calling him an idiot, calling him pussy. And then, obviously, when Ben Scallon, my main man from Gript Media, questioned him about it, hey, Simon Harris, why would you insult, the next president of the United States? And he said, well, it was just all lighthearted, friendly banter. And he kind of, pulled way back, got scared because obviously, the US would just, demolish the economy if they wanted to here, let's be honest. And hopefully the government, and we can start a new one, guys. Let's get into it, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
The government is planning a diplomatic blitz of the United States for St. Patrick's Day. Taoiseach Simon Harris will bring a memo to Cabinet this morning outlining plans to send ministers to 40 locations across the world in March, but we know not everyone agrees that these visits are a good idea.
Every year we're exporting over 50 billion euros to the US. It's one of our biggest export markets. I mean, if you look at, I think the figure is 54 billion, 28% of total exports from Ireland go to the US. The UK figure is 22.4 billion and German export market is 20.4 billion. So US is way ahead, 28% of the market, the Irish market. Therefore, it's extremely important that we maintain that market. Then, on the other side, we have over 970 US companies working here in Ireland, employing over 378,000 people. So we have a strong connection with the US. And then we have a huge Irish community in the US, and it's important that we maintain contact with them. And I think it's important that we do the diplomatic. We use St. Patrick's Day on the 17th of March as an important day for connecting with that community. I think it's important that we maintain that and continue on.
Absolutely. I agree 1,000%. The Irish American community, beautiful. They're more Irish than any of us, honestly. Just because they left 200 years ago for the betterment of themselves doesn't negate the, 10,000 years or whatever, of their Irish, or let's say a few thousand years of their sort of Celtic genetics and history. Absolutely. I mean, I don't think anyone would deny that, apart from, really stupid left-wing people here in Ireland that want to deny that Irish Americans are somehow not not American, but someone that steps foot here, 2 months ago, 2 days ago, that, buries his passport, then somehow they're more Irish than the people that are over there. No, guys, I don't believe that for a second. But yeah, they should absolutely send people that love the US, that love the new administration, let's say the Trump administration, to go and, make relations. But somehow we have people here that hate Trump, that absolutely despise him. So why they'd be going over there just is very strange and questionable. Very, very strange in my opinion.
Donald Trump is unpredictable. He doesn't observe the diplomatic niceties. You don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, he's unpredictable. That's more reason why you must continue to work with the administration that's now going to be in there for the next 4 years. It's important that we don't in any way have any problems with accessing the US market. Therefore, it's diplomacy.
This man is mercurial. I mean, if you say something that he doesn't agree with, he's likely to take up his pen and sign an executive order to punish you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people don't understand that, the US doesn't have any allies. We are not allies. We are slaves, economically, probably socially as well. A lot of people in Ireland don't want to kind of admit that, but it is the case, unfortunately, lads. Like, there's no allies to the US, okay? We're slaves, okay? If they wanted to do something, they do it, okay? Canada are slaves to them, Mexico, everyone basically is, because they have the most money, they have the biggest military, etc., etc. So, you got to be a bit more diplomatic, guys. And if Trump is a bit more wild, I mean, I don't think he is. I definitely support Trump over Joe Biden and anybody else. My God, Hillary Clinton, could you imagine? But the thing is, it's horrendous, guys. None of the Irish government were invited over to his inauguration. Only Conor McGregor was. What does that say about the way Trump and JD Vance and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these guys, Zuckerberg, feel about the Irish people? Government, I'm talking about, the Irish government. How do they feel about that? Probably not so well. I mean, they love Irish people, the regular people like me and you, but the government guys, not on good terms with Trump, I don't think.
Absolutely, and there's no question about that, and that's more reason why diplomacy. I mean, I was on, previously when I was in European Parliament, I was on the joint committee of the European Parliament and US Congress, and we went to the States on a regular basis because we needed to keep that connection between Europe and America. Likewise, Ireland needs to keep that connection between Ireland and America.
Absolutely, and if Simon Harris keeps calling him a gowl, okay, that connection isn't going to be strong. So we need to have proper, sensible, professional leaders in government so they don't destroy that connection with the USA.
And to grow the market. And also, remember, American companies are using Ireland to access the European market. There's 460 million people between all the member states in Europe. US companies need to access that market. It's a huge market, and it's important that they have that connection.
Richard,
and Ireland is the biggest place for
the case for not going.
Oh, here we go.
First of all, I don't have a problem with government or official representatives of this country meeting with community leaders, developing cultural links, or even trade and business links. But I have a big problem with us sharing our national day, celebrating our national day, with somebody, you called him mercurial, Pat. That's diplomatic. This man is a dangerous, delusional megalomaniac who is threatening to ethnically cleanse millions of Palestinians. This very weekend, he is now bidding up the possibility of restarting the war in Gaza. When there was a ceasefire agreement agreed amazingly between Hamas and Israel, which was about the release of 3 prisoners this weekend, and now he has tried to outflank the Netanyahu regime, who have slaughtered 70,000 people over the last year and a half in a genocidal massacre.
Absolutely don't agree with that whatsoever. Guys. So
he's trying to outflank him and restart the war unless people meet
and
demands.
I don't think so, guys. I don't think he's trying to restart the war. This guy, Richard Boy Barrett, he is intellectually dishonest with everything that he says. Okay, he knows what he's doing. He's trying to get the people on his side. That's not what Trump is doing. Well, Trump is saying that there should be diplomatic policies carried out. And there shouldn't be any hostages, guys. Release the hostages. Yeah, absolutely. That's regular, guys. There shouldn't be any hostages in war, first of all. That war is obviously insane. He was saying they're going to annex Gaza and stuff. That seems a bit wild. I mean, they're going to put Burger King and flipping Dunkin' Donuts at the at the forefront of Gaza. That's nothing to do with me, guys. I'm an Irishman. I, unfortunately, spiritually agree with, the things that are going on over there. It's not good to have colonization like the British did to us. It's a spiritual thing. But the same way I agree with the Trump stuff, guys, because I'm not American. I know you guys don't even believe that, but it's more of a spiritual thing, right? Obviously.
Pulled out of his head. I mean, this is like, this guy thinks he's in a Western movie, and he just pulls this stuff out of his head. But there's real lives at stake. We've seen something that is beyond words, unspeakably horrific, committed by Israel,
Richard,
and he's proposing to restart it.
If we give him
this guy is over the top, eccentric, it would be the word.
2 fingers politically, diplomatically, we know he's a vindictive man, so he is likely to actually turn his vindictiveness on Ireland.
We can't bend the knee to this bully, right? He is threatening the world, and
like I said, you have to bend the knee. There's only slaves, guys. We're not allies with these people, the Americans. I hate to be that guy, man. They have the massive military. They have all the money. They have all the power. Might, unfortunately, equals right when it comes to politics, guys. A lot of people won't agree with me on that one, but a lot of people do agree with me on that one. Insane.
I think we need to start to think, the people of the world need to start to think how we're going to fight. what Trump represents, the agenda he represents, because it is a very, very dangerous agenda that is driving the world in a very scary direction.
The left, I love the way the lefties hate Trump. To me, that's the spiritual thing about Trump. I just love the way these woke, weirdo lefties hate Trump. That's what makes me the most happy. Forget about everything else.
And if I was our government,
here we go.
I would be thinking, and I think people across the world are thinking, particularly the millions and tens of millions who've been on the streets in solidarity with the Palestinians, anybody who's opposed to driving the entire world economy into a recession through a trade war, or who's afraid of the possibility of World War III. I think people should start to think, how do we resist this crazy agenda of
I think they have the crazy agenda, these left wokies.
Trump, the world's richest man, with this guy who thinks he's in a Western movie and is willing to threat, hell. That's what he's describing, to impose hell, not just on the people of Palestine, but this is a guy who's willing to impose hell on the world.
I mean, I understand the Palestinian thing. Like, I'm an Irishman, guys. Like, I care about Ireland the most, unfortunately. I know a lot of people might not like that, but I care about Ireland the most. Overseas, wars in other countries has nothing to do with me. I care about Ireland. That's it, man. See these flags right here? Ain't no other flag. You guys ain't gonna see any other flag up here. I'm just putting that out there. But at the same time, obviously, there's atrocities going on over there. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, guys. But at the same time, dude, we should be caring about Ireland. This guy hasn't mentioned Ireland once. Like, he said maybe about the tariffs, but like, Trump could literally put Ireland into a recession if we're not political with him and good and help him out a little bit. You know what I mean? Because America is losing massive money. I mean, they were saying that they spent $70,000 on a DEI musical in Ireland, like, that nobody has seen. I tried to research and find that musical on Twitter, on X. Nobody could come up with it. Nobody could find it. The money's just disappears. Shit's ridiculous, man. America they have so much money, but it's like, when you're losing it so frequently, it's like you gotta bring some shit home. That's what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to make it better, a country, economy-wise.
Colin?
Yeah, we'll never achieve peace anywhere in the world unless people talk. And yes, I agree with Richard in respect of what the way Trump has behaved. But by walking away, then you're giving him absolute control over what is said. And I'm saying that by having that diplomatic contact, you're also conveying that there's a better way of managing this.
Aren't you making an assumption that there are sane people in the room with Trump this time round? There were the last time. Now, there weren't necessarily people that people in Ireland would have approved of in terms of their politics, but they were seen to be, professional people, be they the generals or the diplomats. Those people are no longer present.
Well,
so when you're talking about, cozying up to officials and so on, these people are all made in the image of MAGA.
Absolutely, and there's no question about that. But there's also still logical people there as well. And I think no matter where you go in the world, you'll always get 50% who are on your side and 50% who are not on your side. And I think it's important that it's not just Ireland, but all of the other member states of the European Union work together. And, I have been to Gaza. I was there when the American presidency was used back in 2008, 2009. Outgoing president not elected. The Israelis went in on 27th of December, bombed the living daylights out of Gaza up to the 18th of January because the new president wasn't in until the 20th of January. So I visited after that bombing where, in that case there was 1,400 people killed, 400 children. So I've seen the atrocities in Gaza.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I don't think anyone, disagrees with that. Unfortunately, if you're conservative or on the right, we have to side with the blue-haired, woke, liberal weirdos when it comes to the whole Palestine thing. But at the same time, guys, we haven't yet talked about Ireland. What are we going to do about our country? We live in Ireland. Why are we focused on other places? Like, oh my God, this whole country is cooked. Like, we are done, lads. If you don't think that we need a new government, lads, we're done. Like, we're done. We talk more about other countries than our own. Like, what's the crack there? What's the crack there, lads? Can we focus on Ireland? Absolutely, 100% we agree. But it's going to be more of a spiritual thing for Irish people, in regards to the whole, whatever, colonization and oppression of a people. That's a spiritual thing. We can't do anything there. We can voice our opinion and support on social media, but we need to start focusing on Ireland, lads. Come on.
Right? But they should be meetings which have an agenda where people are going to say, what you're doing is absolutely dangerous. We're opposed to it, and we are going to resist what you're at. We should not be going with bowls of shamrock on Ireland's National Day to Plymouth a man who is threatening the world and is threatening to escalate the genocidal horror in Gaza or ethnically cleanse billions of people. Why would we celebrate our National Day? Why would we Plymouth him? Right? They're different things. Political engagement where we robustly resist his agenda is one thing. And by the way, Europe...
This is a big tough guy here. Richard Boyd Barrett is a big tough guy. He's going to resist the US. This guy's a dumbass. I mean, the thing is, like, he's a dork, guys. You know, he's a nerd dork, but it's like, you can't do that. Like, this is stupid. You need to be political. How this guy got into government is beyond me. Which one of you woke lefto weirdos voted for this guy? Dude, don't even watch my videos. If you voted for this guy, oh my days, man. Oh my days, bro.
Has a considerable responsibility in this regard, because for all the chatter, European governments continue to arm Israel to commit the crimes against the Palestinian people.
I think
so Europe is also responsible for letting this agenda, particularly in Palestine, but also more broadly, gain momentum.
I mean,
what does he mean more broadly? Like, what other countries? Like the Congo? Like, what else? Like the lithium in Congo? Like, what other countries is he talking about? Like Sudan? You know, these are the only two countries in the world that I can think of that are sort of more broadly. You know, what other country? I mean, what about... I mean, we could talk about the 6 counties up in the north as well. What about that? Like, I don't know, lads. This guy is just... He says so much, but really is saying so little. So...
But there is a very clear message from Ireland in the sense that we were under the control of the UK for, centuries. We came out of that, and we have built a fantastic country here in the sense that we're a huge number of people employed here now. We're self-sufficient in a whole lot of areas.
We're a very fragile open economy,
absolutely,
at the mercy of Trump.
Yeah, but at the same time...
Every country in the world is at the mercy of the USA. Newsflash, they just don't like this 4 years because it doesn't agree with their woke, liberal, DEI, agenda. That's it, guys. The only reason they disagree with it now, I mean, they loved it during Joe Biden's time. They loved being under the rule of Joe Biden because America is ruling all the time. They just don't like it now. You see how that works?
We were under the British control for centuries. We got out of that, and we could show what can be done with a country. Likewise, we can show that message as regards Gaza if it's given the opportunity.
You're still assuming that everyone is going to play by the old rules. Trump doesn't play by the old rules, and it is likely, hopefully not, that he will attempt to humiliate your fellow Corkman, Micheál Martin, in the Oval Office. That as he humiliated King Abdullah yesterday. Absolutely. I mean, this is what the man does.
But this is why you need then to work very hard diplomatically. The amount of work that's done by the diplomatic corps behind the scenes is phenomenal. People never see it, but it works. They work night and day to make sure we can get a message across. And I think, in fairness to Micheál Martin, he's a lot of experience. He's been around a while in the sense of dealing with different countries and in relation to the diplomatic way of dealing with work as well. And I think he will give a very strong message, but in a very diplomatic way. And I think we need to use the opportunity that there is a better way than war. I mean, like the whole issue, like Gaza...
I'm just wondering how strong a voice we have. But Richard, this is the day we do get into the room. Shouldn't we seize that day?
Look, our identity, we're talking about celebrating our national heritage and identity. This country's identity was forged in opposition to colonialism and war. That's where we come from.
But isn't that the very reason for showing how a country can succeed? Because that's exactly what we've happened here in Ireland. We've succeeded.
It's a way we resisted. Let's be absolutely clear. We resisted empire. And that's what we did.
But
Richard Boyd Barrett didn't resist anything in his life. This guy probably doesn't resist when his wife tells him to flip and take out the flipping or whatever, do some sort of stupid chore in the house. This guy isn't resisting anything. That joke fell flat. But this guy's not resisting. This guy is Poindexter.
But Richard, the point I'm making
as did the architects of the American Constitution. That's what they were doing too, Richard.
Yeah, exactly. The USA was founded on revolutionary getting away from the stupid British and stuff and getting away from persecution, right?
Indeed.
but we did.
I mean, the stupid British government. The British people are extremely nice. I was just there last weekend. Beautiful people.
Trump
Succeed.
is trampling.
And likewise with Gaza.
And
If Gaza is given the opportunity, he can succeed. And I've seen.
come off. Listen, the guy is threatening to restart a genocidal war that eventually a ceasefire has been forced to end this horror.
He started that ceasefire. He actually helped with that ceasefire, I believe.
And this guy wants to start it at 12 o'clock this Saturday. Right now, I mean, what is the world going to say
that's more
to
reason
stop
why,
that? And to ethnic, he
but
has
that's more
threatened
reason,
to commit
Richard,
criminal
why
actions against
that's
the
more reason
Palestinian
why
people.
the diplomatic corps right around the world is working
The world
as
needs
regards.
to stand up to him, Colin.
I know, but
Right.
if you stand up,
The world can stand up to them. They have all the money, the resources, the military. What is this guy talking about? This guy Richard Boy Barrett is a dork.
and
He's a
then
bully,
he will react.
He's a danger
But
to the world,
Richard,
and we
you
need.
know,
Oh, he's a bully. Oh, dude. I couldn't even be seen to be talking like this on the internet. Seriously.
and I know,
stand up
you
to
know,
him.
and
And
I
you-
know,
the
you
Irish
know, and I
government
know,
wants to
Richard,
kowtow.
that if you do stand up
The
to
Irish
him,
government wants to
he'll do
kowtow.
the
Just like
exact
he let
opposite.
2 million troops
just-
he
through
doesn't-
Shannon to prosecute the war in Iraq.
the whole
where
thing
million
about-
people got
Richard,
slaughtered.
just to,
I agree with that. I don't agree with the war in Iraq either. I mean, he has some good points about that whole thing, but the thing is, at the end of the day, for Irish people, it's only spiritual. We're not gonna make a difference in the world, lads. Like we're not. So we should be caring about our country. There's only 5 million of us.
one of the listeners has a point which is worth putting to you. You can't be selective about diplomacy, and actually you don't need diplomacy with your allies as much as you do with your supposed enemies.
I actually agree with that. Okay, what I'm saying is that Patrick's Day is a different type of event. It is about celebrating our national day. It's where you hand a bowl of shamrock.
also about getting
Colin,
the
I didn't
opportunity-
interrupt you. Now you're
You did,
constantly interrupting. No, because he was interrupting me constantly. Right? It's about celebrating our national day. Right? I do not believe we should do that. If it was about a coalition of political leaders in Europe demanding a meeting with the Trump administration to say we are not putting up with this. This is, where our values and principles lie. We're going to stand against your continuing arming of the genocidal horror in Gaza. This is our response to your threats to start a trade war. But that's not what's going on here. This is plumosing.
Richard Boy Barrett is going to get us flipping plunged back into the Stone Age, lads. Oh yeah, we're going to stand up to Trump, and then what's he going to do? Pull out Google, pull out Amazon, pull out flipping Apple, pull out all the massive companies out of Dublin. Then the country's going to go to flipping nothing. This guy will have us all broke. He's a communist. He's a socialist guy. A communist guy. It's just crazy.
And bending the knee to the Trump administration when they are threatening horror and hell, literally, against people of Gaza and threatening a trade war. across the
What do you
world.
say, though, to the notion that if we don't engage and work with the United States, potentially Trump, with the stroke of a pen, could literally destroy thousands of jobs here?
First of all, I don't think he can do that, right? I mean, the
Oh, he can. Oh, that's where you're wrong, my friend. This guy is just clueless, man. Who voted for this guy? I didn't vote for this guy. Jesus.
The idea that Donald Trump is making decisions on behalf of the multinationals who employ people and who make a lot of profit here, they are here not out of the goodness of their health.
Yeah, he does, because the tariffs will come in and they'll just end all the money making. So yeah, he can just enact tariffs. Does this guy know what tariffs even are?
For our benefit.
Over 378,000 people are
There you go,
employed here.
interrupting me
By
again.
970. But I'm giving you the truth. 970
I
different
know how
Irish
many
American
jobs there
companies.
are, right? But those companies are making absolutely astronomical profits here.
And
they're
the
not
Irish
going to
economy is
walk.
Yeah, and if he puts in tariffs, they won't be making those anymore.
But
The
don't
Irish
forget,
economy is benefiting.
he wants some of those profits. He wants to repatriate a lot of the cash that comes to the Irish economy. That's what he wants to do. He looks at the figures, the trade imbalance favours us over him, and he says, no, not going to happen.
Sure.
We are going to do something which will redress that.
Yep.
Yes, he absolutely is threatening that. But the companies
This guy hasn't got a clue, lads. Like, this guy hasn't got a clue. Very uneducated guy. I mean, non-professional from what I see. Just uneducated. I mean, really, it's just a joke, actually.
located are here because they want to access the European markets and other markets in and around Europe, right? And they are making the profits and they are making the decisions. So that's why they're here. Trump is a different kettle of fish who is threatening to move the world into a trade war, which, to be honest, is actually going to drive up the cost of living, not just in the United States, but across the world, and is possibly going to threaten a global recession. Now, I don't see why we would kowtow to somebody like that.
I'm going to leave it right there, guys, because I can't take much more of that. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, man. Should we be sending people that hate Trump to the White House? I don't think so at all, actually. I think they should be sending people like Declan Ganley. I think they should send people like the guy that owns Ryanair as well. You know, people that are actually businessmen and people that can actually help the country. Okay, sending people that are these woke liberal left, you know, DEI kind of strange people over there that insult the guy is not going to help build relationships with them. I love you all. If you guys want to support me, I can't do it without you. Check out my membership, click the membership button down below, and also sign up for my Patreon. For just the price of a coffee per month, you guys will help fund me so I can keep fighting back against these weirdos. Every single day there'll be a video about politics on my channel, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.